All right, what's good, folks? Welcome back to the garage to Mike and Mike. We've been away for a while. We have some obstacles was in our path, and we're not fully stabilized that obstacle, but nonetheless, we are maneuvering around the obstacle and working our way back into production. I'm glad that you're still here with us, and thank you for your support. As I share with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like and share and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell everyone you can share this with.
Yes.
And without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. So, to my immediate right, we got the man, the son of, leave that one alone. We got Justin, a.k.a.
King Tox.
King Tox in the house, baby.
A.k.a. Donald Justin Trump.
Trump.
My
cousin
name is Donald Justin Trump.
Yeah. Mrs. Trump left his ass again. She keep on leaving him. Every week she leaves that.
I found out.
I think this one is permanent now.
I found out, unfortunately, guys, I am on the Epstein list. It is for molesting. Not 12-year-olds. I was molesting 112-year-olds with no teeth. And they put me on the Epstein
We're
list.
stricken this from the record.
You can't stricken that from the record.
Listen, no.
That's completely legal.
Technically, yeah, it is.
So if you hear about Justin being on the Epstein list, I was on the Epstein list for basically molesting elder women. I'm not proud of it.
We're still tracking from a written because they probably didn't give him no permission to touch
I'm not proud of it, but I had a lot of fun doing it. That's all I wanted to say.
Stricken from the record. Anyway, we possibly would have. We're gonna have Mr. the prodigal son,
Intelligent,
the intelligent
investor,
baby Trump in the house. Hopefully, he will be in the house soon. Anyways, we miss you guys.
Yes.
Thank you again for coming by. We have a lot to discuss about 3 weeks or so.
We got a lot. We got a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I don't think we could cover this all night, but we're gonna throw some at you. And I mean, as I said, you have the option where you can tag this video with your comments, like, shares, statements or whatever the case may be. You can tag it onto the video and you share it, make your comments and stuff like that.
Yes.
Anyone we said something and you want to debunk it, you have facts or whatever the case may be, or you want to piggyback off what one of us share, what we share with you, feel free to do that. Thank you again. Without further ado, we're gonna jump right in it. As usual, our new structure platform. You have the floor. Run with it.
Well, I guess let's talk about a couple things. I mean, first and foremost, we are in the city of New York. So, I hate to say, that I told you so, but I told you so. I told you not to vote for this mom dummy.
Kandadi, we told
you. Now you guys are complaining, okay? We just had a massive snowstorm. He hasn't done anything. Their car's buried in snow in the street now for a good 2 weeks. Okay, there's garbage piling up. Now he's going, and then what's killing me is that he's complaining. This is the funny thing. This is what I want to talk about Mamdani for, right? He's complaining that there's that Mayor Adams spent all the money, right? Mm-hmm. That there's a 12 billion. Now I'm not a Mayor Adams fan.
Capping.
He's capping. You know why? Because Mayor Adams was against New York City being a sanctuary city. You remember that? Mm-hmm. That he was adamantly against that. Governor Hochul made him take these illegal immigrants in after he said, it's going to blow a hole in our deficit. It's going to blow a hole in our budget. We're going to have, he even said it, a $12 billion deficit. Right now, we have a $12 billion deficit. He's trying to blame it on.
It was Oakland that encouraged him. I thought it was.
Forced him, yeah. He didn't want to do it. Remember, let me tell you something. Adams is no angel. But when this whole thing was going on, when they were making certain cities sanctuary cities, remember, they sent a bunch of people from Texas up here, and he didn't want that.
But he was the one, I think he was doing it from a political standpoint because he was trying to gain traction in his political career.
Exactly.
And I don't know, as I said, you may have more information than me, but I think he was the one that ventured on his own by doing this and opened the city as vendor because a lot of people were getting recognition. And then for him to kind of stay in the positive light where his status doesn't go down in the political realm. I think, but I mean, I didn't know
initially he was on board because he was virtue signaling. He was trying to get, gain votes or gain favor, I should say. And then when he actually had his people, because I'm assuming they have number crunches. You have a comptroller. When they crunched the numbers and told him you shouldn't do this, This is going to create a 12. This is going to blow a hole in our budget and create a $9 to $12 billion deficit. This was a few years ago. This was like 2021 when they started letting them all in. You remember when that happened? Okay.
They were sending them left and right.
Now there's no money, right? You know, what was Mamdani promising? Free buses and all this nonsense.
Free bus ride, free rent.
Train is $3 now. Rent has been frozen. Now there's no money, and guess what? All the rich people that he was going to tax, they left.
Not only that,
they left that fast.
Not only that, he couldn't tax them without Congress approval. That's
Exactly.
another thing too. So all this nonsense, this conness, what he was going through.
Exactly.
You know what, New Yorker? I started and said this. I don't blame you guys to a certain extent because you guys were in a vulnerable state. You were
but you got played.
Pain. But nonetheless, at the same time, you got to use your intellect. You cannot let your emotion collide with your
exactly
intellect.
What they did.
And Kandadi sees that, and he plays on that, just like what Trump did when he plays this racist card, where he talking about build the wall from the immigrants and all that stuff. Even though in a certain level, I agree with him with that wall thing too, but at the same time, how we go about it, and how he was going about it, and the comments and stuff like that, that I'm not supporting. But at the same time, with these guys here, with Kandadi, at the end of the day, Kandadi see that New Yorkers are hurting.
Yeah.
And he piggyback off of their hurt and the loophole, what he see in their emotion, and he run with it. Not for you and I, for like Justin, myself, Mike, and others who can see through this loophole because we sit down and we think.
Yeah.
We look on practicality, we look on logics and what would make sense. We do our research and say, okay, can this man do this? Can this man do this? Can this man do this or what? And when you come back to that, there's a lot of stuff he cannot do. There's one or two stuff he probably can do, but there's a lot of stuff. And the main stuff, what he keep on pushing, he cannot do them.
No. And all the promises he made during that campaign that got him in, he's not fulfilling none of them.
None so far. But you know what? You guys going to feel the pain. Now you're getting, for those who in New York, you're getting hit from the federal level, which is my boy, which is Trump. And then you're getting hit from the state level. So
yeah.
Go figure. I mean, I'm glad that you guys are feeling this. Now you're going to, hopefully you'll learn. The sad part is that my black behind have to face this too, but I don't mind as long as you guys are facing it because you were warned. You were warned many times, but you voted on emotion, not practicality and logic.
You voted on fantasy, so that really thinking that you was going to get free, that you was really going to get free transportation and a rent freeze and minimum wage at $30 an hour. And you really thought that was going to work.
That government supermarket thing.
Exactly. That didn't work either because first of all, what's crazy, Hoke was the one that put a kibosh on that. Hoke was like, that's not happening. Hoke even said with the, what do you call, because the MTA kicks back too much money to the state of New York for them to just do free transportation. Are you crazy? That's billions and billions of dollars a year.
They raised
billions.
If that was the case, they would have done that a long time on their own. No mayor didn't have to come in. Every 2 minutes, these guys are raising the fare. So how the heck if the MTA is raising fare exaggerated, let's say every 2 minutes, but it meaning that's how short of a time when they raise it. By the next time they raise it again, it's probably like next year or 6 or 9 months. Or
they just raised it to $3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
$3. So I want to say we probably got another
8 months or so to go.
No, I want to say 3 to 5 years before they raise it again.
Nah, I don't.
Because when's the last time before it was $2.90, it was $2.75, and then they raised it from $2.75 to $2.90. It was in the middle of Adam. So what year was that?
That was like 2024.
No, it was sooner than that.
It was like
let me see. We started paying $2.90, I think, in 2020, 2021. Because I remember it was $2.75.
That's when Adam
That's when he came in power.
And when they raised it was like 22, 23.
So I want to say another 3 to 5 years then. Probably they're going to raise it
probably
to like $3.10. I mean, to be honest, I'm still not complaining about the $3 because I always pay my fare.
Maybe
I don't make videos about jumping the turnstile. I don't make videos. I pay my fare.
Maybe you're right because now Oakland, which she's another con artist,
she's another one.
She bringing and allowing this congestion pricing crap to come in. So now, if they don't necessarily have to raise the train fare too far because now they're getting their some subsidy from somewhere else, which is this congestion pricing.
Yeah.
Let me show you how criminality mindset these people are with this congestion crap. Number one, based on the context of congestion pricing, they're talking about controlling environment. They're controlling the pollution, controlling traffic, right? All of this bullcrap is happening in every borough.
Exactly.
Why Manhattan is focused on only that borough have congestion
Because
pricing?
Manhattan generates the most money. That's why.
Two. Let's say you're gonna run with this or what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you do that from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Why after 10 o'clock you still charging people? Who in the hell?
Yeah, they're saying, oh, we're charging them a discounted rate. No, you shouldn't be charging them anything.
You shouldn't be charging,
Look,
period.
I have a friend that lives on 29th Street. He has to pay a toll just to go home.
That's what I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
You are so concerned for the people at 1 o'clock. Who is going to Manhattan at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning? What type of tractor trailer trucks or whatever delivery or congestion going on at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning? You guys are a bunch of criminals, man.
No, and then Mamdani, he doesn't want to take accountability, like saying, going back to this $12 billion deficit that now the city has, right? There's a $12 billion deficit. He's trying to blame that on Adams when Adams already said that us housing the immigrants is going to blow a hole in our budget and it's going to a tune of $12 billion. I remember him saying that. I remember that specific number. Now they're trying to, now all of a sudden they have amnesia acting like Adams didn't warn them. Now, like I said, Adams is no angel. You know,
There's some stuff. I mean, I don't like the guy from day one. But
what's crazy is that he started making a lot of sense on his way out. Because I guess he was trying to save his behind from going to jail.
When he was there, you should have making sense.
Exactly. You should have been making sense instead of chasing women and dancing on Dykeman. How I know that? Because I lived on Dykeman. I'd see him out there all the time. So
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'd see him out there all the time.
He maybe have that
dancing with the women and everything. You know, Mr. Outside, doing everything under the sun except being a mayor. So now you got this guy crying. Now you have him crying and complaining. You're not taking accountability. We just kind of find out that your mom is in the Epstein list.
Who?
Mamdani's mom. Because she's a famous Bollywood producer, his mother.
She's a what?
Remember, Mamdani comes from money.
But how she wind up in the list?
She's in the Epstein files because I guess she's part, she's been to Epstein Island. From what I understand, now they're trying to say that I guess Mamdani might be Epstein's illegitimate kid. So we're gonna have to do some sort of synopsis. We're gonna have to do some sort of analysis to, And if you think of it, he actually, because I'm not gonna lie, Mamdani is he's a good-looking Indian dude. He actually looks like an Indian version of Jeffrey Epstein. So you never know. He might be, Zoran Mamdani Epstein.
Well, folks, I don't know about this information. It could be hoax. It could be facts. I don't know. I mean, I'm ignorant to that information.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not going to throw it to the window either, because at the same time, there's so much stuff out there where government cover up.
Yeah,
people
time.
Cover up. I mean, we all have our little secrets in our personal life.
Look,
I mean,
at this point,
I have secrets. Everybody have their little secrets at the same time. So
at this point in time, we should all realize that they've been lying to us our whole life. So everything they tell us is a lie. Even my guy, Donnie T, my man Donnie T. I love Donnie T, but he's a liar. He lies. Trump lies a lot. But he doesn't hide the fact that he lies.
He's the father of lies. Matter of fact, he works for the devil.
But he owns the fact that he doesn't care. This is why he doesn't care. Yes, I am a liar.
The thing is that Trump tell you what he is. He said, I'm a snake, I'm a conniving, I'm a whatever the case may be. No, people, let me clean this up. He did not say it literally word for word what I just shared with you.
He's paraphrasing.
I'm paraphrasing in context of how he, like when he get caught in certain things, he's like,
he doesn't care.
I don't care.
He doesn't care. He really doesn't.
I am what I am, at the end of the day. So, it's crazy though, but I don't know. It's just people, I just think. You got to start thinking, man.
To be honest, you got to start. You really have to. If you do not possess critical thinking skills, then I advise you work on them, because every human being on this planet is capable of critically thinking. You have to really sit back, and you got to stop having tunnel vision, and you have to take a step back, and you have to look at the whole picture. You have to look at the big picture. You have to stop with this cognitive. A lot of problems with people is that they have cognitive dissonance because they want to be comfortable in this narrative or this lie that they built up in their head, because the truth is too harsh for them. The truth is something that they don't want to face. Oh well, that's just what it is. Okay, you do not live in a fantasy land. This is real world. And what people don't understand is that the longer you display this cognitive dissonance, the deeper you're going to put yourself into a dystopian society. Okay, and if you don't understand what a dystopian society is, look at all these movies from back in the days, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, things like that, where the end of the world and things. That's a dystopian society, and this is the route that we're going if the people really don't wake up and start using their brain. I'm not saying that you have to agree with everybody. You don't. Me and Mike don't agree on a lot of things, but what it is, we do think critically, and we're always thinking about moving forward. That's why our show is called Mike and Mike Moving Forward.
Right?
Okay, there's we're very literal in what we're talking about, and this is a perfect example of the people of New York City not using critical thinking. Okay, you're using your emotions. You let your emotions lead you, and then you think and you pass off your emotions as if it's fact and if it's doctrine, and it's not. It is emotions. Because if people don't understand, feelings can change. Facts don't.
At any time. Yep.
Facts don't.
Facts remain
and
facts.
Now you bury yourself in a hole, and you see where the city is going. And that's what I wanted to say on as far as Mamdani. Like I said, I told you so. I don't think this guy's going to last. Most likely, they're probably going to impeach him. I don't think he's going to last a year. Mamdani, I don't think he's going to last. I got a feeling they're going to impeach him because Hochul don't got his back. Obviously, all that.
She supported him. My girl, Tish, which I had respect for her. Now
she's not. Now I'm kind of. Yeah, they're kind of flaky on him because look, he's not. He fumbled the ball, dude. But you're the mayor of the most important city, one of the most important cities in the world, and you fumbled the ball. You fumbled it.
One of the things why I think Tish, she didn't really go with. She went with Mandani. Now I'm speculating, folks. Remember, she has this tension with Cuomo, right?
Yes.
So she kind of now, which I'm seeing kind of in a apology state, because when they got him out, he resigned and do whatever, push him out.
Yep.
Now they're supposed to start, which she's supposed to start this litigation against him, this court, this lawsuit or this criminal, whatever the case may be. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Exactly.
No. And
more virtue signaling and nonsense.
I'm not disputing. I'm not knocking out not throwing it out the window that he probably is not guilty. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, is that you see this? There's a lot of political involvement in. If this man is guilty, now you got him out of power. He's like a dead floor mat, right? Yeah. Or he's like a floor mat now. He has no type of a connection, no power to kick back. Why don't you didn't drag him in court and let all of this stuff, what he committed, this crime, what he committed, he pay for it?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, the city has unlimited power. Tish, where you're going after these guys and stuff like that. Why you didn't go after these guys? Because as soon as this guy jumped on an election coming, she started running. But her numbers were so low, she had to fall out.
Exactly.
Which is kind of good, because I think your motive was on. I respect you. I liked what you have done and the stuff what you're doing, clean up the city. But now I'm kind of wavering with you, because you were like in the river on the bank business. You're not. I thought you was a woman with fully foundation, where you you stand your ground no matter what. You speak the truth no matter what, even though it's gonna hurt or burn. But you seem flaky now, because I think
I told you she was full of crap.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the best person for the city, well, he have a different view. I think regardless of what Cuomo did, he's a good leader. Now, again, as I said, regardless of what he did, I am not undermining the fact that if he's guilty,
then he has to,
he has to pay the price. But you guys had opportunity for him to pay the price, and you did not do anything with that.
I actually agree that he's a good leader also. I agree that he's a good leader.
He's a good leader. I think he's a good leader.
Remember, he's a legacy. His father was a governor.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? He comes from a political family. So, I feel he's a good leader.
The funniest thing is that he came out and he said, listen, all what Mandani is promising you cannot be done, because even me, I would not promise you something like that. Now, I would try to put things in place to get these things, but I cannot make it a promise. That's a good leader, for him to sit down and say, knowing that this may go against him
because
in voting. Because it's honest.
That's honest. That's reality. And what it is, people don't want reality. Like we were talking about, you live in a fantasy world because you just want people to tell you what you want to hear, and it doesn't work that way.
It's not going to help you.
Mamdani told you what you wanted to hear, and look, you got played. You know who does that? That's what pimps do to prostitutes right before they start pimping them. You tell these girls what they want to hear, and then you send them out on the track. And that's exactly what he did to y'all.
Well, you have about 4 more years of this. You have 4 more years of.
No, I got a feeling that he's gonna watch. I'm telling you,
they're gonna impeach him. When was the last time somebody impeached a mayor?
It was admitted, but to be honest,
exactly.
he's not doing any. I'm
But
like, bro, he's doing a worse job than what's his name? Remember the other guy? The other one, the one that's from Boston. The mayor that was before Adams. What was his name? The white dude that his wife was black. No, not Bloomberg. After Bloomberg. De Blasio.
Oh, Blasio.
This guy's worse than De Blasio. And De Blasio was a moron. You know what I'm saying?
I think Blasio, he was in between, in the rivers now and then on the bank. So meaning like he was doing good at times and then he slipped and started doing bad. Then he started doing good again and he started. I can kind of work with that. But this nincompoop,
he's not doing anything.
He's not doing it.
He's not doing anything.
Period.
He's gonna run the city into a ground, and you guys are gonna see. To be honest, maybe it's a lesson learned that you never vote for a socialist ever again. Okay, because socialism does not work in New York City. And then people argue with me. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? What about? I said that's not socialism. Those are social programs. Two different words, two different meanings. Because they're telling me like Social Security, welfare. These are all social programs. But they're telling me, oh, this is part of socialism. No, it's not. It's a social program. But people are stupid because they hear the word social. Yeah, it's stupid. And that's what I'm saying.
I understand.
That's why I'm so fast to call somebody stupid. You know why? Because I'm not. So I will call you stupid very quickly, especially when you don't know what you're talking about. You're just talking to hear yourself speak. You understand? When I speak facts. I speak things that I research. I speak things that I cross-reference. You understand? When I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong. When I find new information, this is how you know I'm a critical thinker. When I find new information that goes against what I already believe
you admit it. Yep.
I will change my mind. Because, say for instance, like, look, everybody knows I'm pro-Trump. I'm still pro-Trump. But I don't agree with everything that he does. For one,
you
took $230 million from Israel. I didn't forget about Israel. I didn't forget that all these Israelis are now moving to Argentina, and then all of a sudden, all these fires in the Patagonia in Argentina, oh, how convenient. And then now you guys are you're burning all this stuff up. The Argentinian residents are complaining about it because you got a bunch of Israelis that are now relocating to Argentina because they're trying to colonize and occupy that area. But nobody's talking about that because we're too busy with the nonsense with ICE. We're too busy with what's going on with
distraction,
Mamdani.
Pretty much.
Exactly, it's a distraction. Mm-hmm. We're too busy, with the whole nonsense. Oh, free Maduro. Since when do you free a dictator? So this is what I'm saying, and they're not even talking about that. Like I still have, like I said, like everybody knows my feelings towards Israel. They're in the background, still doing what they're doing, and nobody's talking about it because we're getting distracted by other things. Mm-hmm. You understand? But I still pay attention to that. Mamdani is a big distraction. Okay, they're all in one big club, and we're not in it. Okay, so the joke's on us. Okay, that's what I want to say about the city. What was the other thing I want to talk about? Oh, ICE. I am very much pro-ICE. Like I was just talking with Mike earlier. I am pro-ICE. I'm also half Venezuelan. Okay? What I don't agree with some of the methods that these ICE agents, are doing.
I agree
some
with
of them are basically thugs with, but what I have to tell the people is that there's a difference between being a peaceful protester and actually obstructing federal law. And what people keep forgetting, because you're listening to the news and you're listening to these mayors and these governors who they should be brought up on treason charges, those are federal law enforcement agents. Okay, these are not volunteers. These are not, this is not a made-up agency. This is Immigrations, Customs, and Enforcement. They're just like the DEA. They're just like the FBI. They're just like the ATF. Okay? People telling me, oh, they don't. When they're outside and they're looking for people, they don't need warrants. The only time they need a warrant if they're going into somebody's home. Okay, but like when they're in the
public
streets,
space, they don't need a warrant.
It is. Your ass is grass if you don't belong out there.
Just like a cop.
Exactly, and people need to understand that. You need to respect that these are federal law enforcement agencies. That means that they supersede city, they supersede county, they supersede state. Okay, so you have to show some respect. I understand. You may not agree with them, you may not like them. Okay, but do respect them because they are federal agents. Okay, what do you think would happen? Perfect example. I'm going to use DEA because those are federal law enforcement agents, right? Say if me and you were doing our podcast right now and the DEA storms our neighbor's house. The DEA, obviously, they're under investigation. What's going to happen if me and you try to get in the way and we know our neighbors? What do you think is going to happen to you and us with those DEA agents.
We
We try to get in the way.
We going down with them, or
they're shooting us.
One of us getting killed, or
exactly
something like that.
So it's the same exact thing. And this is what I keep trying to tell people. Oh, but I don't agree. It doesn't matter whether you don't agree with it, because agreeing with it is not a fact. That is a feeling. Okay? That's how you feel. When people kill, oh, I feel, you lost me already. Because feelings don't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, is it wrong? Of course it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? As for how they're doing certain things. But there has been, and everybody's focused on Minnesota, which I find very coincidental that Minnesota's also being investigated for probably one of the biggest tax frauds in American history. And at the same time, you're being distracted with these ICE protests and people getting killed. As far as Renee Good and Alex Pretty, I call that natural selection. I don't call that necrosity, because guess what? If you would have minded your business, none of this, you'd still be breathing right now. Okay? So as far as, oh, you don't have it, no, I don't. I don't have empathy for stupidity. I don't have sympathy for stupidity. You should have minded your business. Okay? We're not talking about, what about all these people, what were the people that are Lake and Riley? What was it? There's about 15 other women that were raped and killed by illegal immigrants that are here illegally. Okay? That ICE is hunting down. And then what you guys are doing is that you're protesting against ICE because you want these people to still stay in this country for whatever virtue, because you don't agree with this administration. We're not supposed to agree with the administration. Okay? I never agreed with Bush's administration. I never agreed with Obama's administration, and I voted for him twice. And I definitely didn't agree with Biden's administration, but you don't see me running out in the street causing all kinds of nonsense. No. Because at the end of the day, this is our administration. This is the one that runs the country. You need to respect the hierarchy. And that's the problem with a lot of people now, is that you have a lot of people, you have a lot of NPCs. You know what an NPC is? An NPC in a video game is a non-primary character. They're nobody.
Non-primary character.
A non-primary character acting like they're main characters. And that's the issue right now. You people actually think that you're so delusional that you think that you're in the middle of a revolutionary and you're doing something, you're going to be named in the history books. You're not. You're not. You're doing the exact opposite. You're not using your brain, okay? You've allowed media to tell you how to think. You've allowed mainstream media to tell you how to think. You have no critical thinking skills whatsoever. And I know this because when I argue with people, all you do is hit me with these nonsense leftist points. And I've been arguing with people for the past couple of weeks now because on my little Instagram page. Okay? And then, like I said, I'm not accredited to my race because, yes, I am Venezuelan, I am Puerto Rican, but I'm American. I was born here. I was born in the Bronx. Okay? I have a Social Security card. Okay? Now I'm a U.S. national, but I was a U.S. citizen. This is my land. They can't do anything to me. So for you telling me that I'm accredited to my race, I'm not accredited to my race, because if you didn't come here legally, then you need to leave.
But I heard this statement on, there's some other important, I want to piggyback, but it was based on, you said this line, there was a statement that says, and actually, I think it was an actress make the comment on the Oscars or the Grammys?
Oh, Billie Eilish?
Where she said, you cannot, something where she
no one's illegal on stolen land.
Yes,
and then
no one is illegal on stolen land.
And she lives on the Tongva tribe's land. The Tongva tribe is a tribe that is indigenous to that land over there in Los Angeles that her $14 million mansion is on. You know, they press it. It's like, oh, nobody's okay, then give us back the land with your mansion. But you see what I mean with the virtue signaling? See, Billie Eilish, you should have just shut your mouth.
I mean, she's right in this, but then again, I mean, you're coming out like that.
And this land wasn't stolen. It was conquered and purchased. There's a difference.
Oh, purchased by what?
What do you mean? Remember, we purchased Mexico for $15 million.
Oh, you talking about Mexico?
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
What came part with Mexico? We purchased part of Mexico, which is now what we call California, Arizona.
But I'm talking about the U.S. in general. I was not talking about an isolation area like Mexico.
No, all areas were purchased. Look, the Louisiana purchase.
How other than Mexico and what other state?
The Louisiana purchase that
Hawaii and
that accounted about
other
15
than those
states.
How the U.S. itself was purchased. Remember when they quote unquote Christopher Columbus discover.
Even though he didn't discover anything, because there were already people here.
I mean, like, how you can discover something when someone is already here? Anyway, and this is where I'm using it, where I was looking on that statement, what she made, to generalizing it, in not specifically California or anything, or Mexico or wherever, but in the general aspect of it, people were living here. on this land
Yeah.
already. And
they had government infrastructures, hierarchies, caste systems, everything.
and people like Christopher Columbus and others came here, supersede, use power, bulliness, and stuff like that, and run these people to the ground.
Yeah, they ran them out.
And this is where also slavery starts and all the
Yeah.
other stuff. So I was looking at it from a global standpoint when she mentioned the comment, not just a specifically state.
Yeah.
And I think technically she is right in that sense, because if this land was taken from the tribe, which is
The Tongva tribe, which is that
Native Americans.
Yeah,
right?
they're indigenous to that. Basically, LA is their indigenous land. Los Angeles is their indigenous land.
But I mean, Los Angeles is a part of the U.S., so
Yeah,
they may
well,
not,
yeah, well, back then it was part of Mexico.
but they were all over
California
the place.
was part of Mexico.
I think they more started from there, but they were all these the Native Americans was all over the U.S. They
Yeah.
were everywhere.
Different tribes.
Right. So at the end of the day, you know what? I don't want to lose my train of thought, but that was something funny where when I remember Justin mentioned about land that came to my mind. I was like, that's kind of up the alley. But
I'm definitely pro-ICE, and people really should. I'm not against people protesting. Okay, we have a right to protest. As
that is our
Americans,
rights.
That is a freedom, but you do not have the right to obstruct. You do not have the right to obstruct a federal investigation. You do not have the right to obstruct federal law enforcement while they're doing their job. Okay, and this is what people were doing. Okay, you're spitting on these agents. Okay, what people don't say, when you spit on an agent, that's actually when you spit on somebody, that's assault. You're assaulting a federal agent. When you spit on somebody,
and yet I don't know what you have to. I mean, you can have all type of certain
you don't have
disease.
to do that. I'm like, you want to curse at them? That's fine. But then even look, like we said, like, they want to keep screaming all this racist, right? Tell me why that, these white liberals, which Malcolm X always said, never trust a white liberal. These white liberals are the ones that are protesting. It's not, you don't see black people out there. You don't really see, you see these white liberals out here protesting.
The black people are pretty much wising up because they go out there.
Yeah, it's not their fight.
They not only not because they fight, they're gonna get murdered in a heartbeat than these people.
But on top of that, like I tell all my black, it is not your fight. It is not your fight. People say, oh, but who you think they come after next? That's fear-mongering. They're not going to come after you next. You're from here. This is your land. They can't do anything to you. This is not your fight. And see, they're waking up, but these white liberals, because these white liberals hate America. They hate themselves. So they hate everybody else. They want to feel morally and intellectually superior because they're deep down inside, they know that they're nobodies. That's every liberal. I cannot stand liberals. I bother not to have a conversation with them. Once I find out you're a liberal, I don't speak to you. The same way when you find out that I'm a Trump supporter, all of a sudden everything I say is nonsense. When I find out you're a liberal, that tells me that you have no brain, that you lack critical thinking skills, and you're a miserable person. So I don't speak to you. I expel you from my existence. And I'll tell every liberal that to their face. And this is what's happening right now, is that these are the liberals protesting, and you saw what happened. There was a black ICE agent, right? So this transgendered liberal comes up to him and asks him questions. He's like, "Are you a man?" They got, oh my God, how are you going to call me that? Blah, blah. All he did was ask you a question. Are you a man? Because you're dressed. And then what do they started racial slurs at him, calling my house, calling him the N-word, calling him a coon, calling my house that you're next. Really? So all this stuff that you guys say in the racist, but all of a sudden when people don't fit your ideology, now all of a sudden you want to hurl racial slurs at them. And see, he's a better man than me. Because of a liberal, I don't care, because one thing about liberals, they can't fight. This is why they run their mouth. I know if a liberal called me a dirty spick because I don't agree with what they're saying, I'm breaking your jaw.
Anyway, restricting all violence from the record, we're not going to support that. But one of the things I want to jump on, which I agree with Justin almost 100%. Almost, you see, almost. There's like slight percent, but I mean, technically I would say 100% because it's all like a 0.5%. The issue is that, like what he said before, I don't agree what ICE do and how they process, and I think I blame it from the archy, which is his grandfather, baby Trump.
Trump
allow certain things and put certen things in place. So
greatest president ever.
I can see why ICE is behaving how they be, because when Obama, when Bush, when Biden, when prior to the father, ICE wasn't behaving like this, but because of radical Trump, he gave them this leadway for them to do these things. Okay, fair enough.
I don't think Trump radicalized them.
That's what
I think there's some ICE agents that are making everybody. I don't think every ICE agent is acting like
but
that.
there's no, it's not maybe everyone, but the majority of them is behaving because they know that they don't have, they're not on a leash anymore. They're let loose. It's
But
like,
are they? Because I've seen a lot of, I watch a lot of it, and I notice the ICE agents mind their business. It's just that people start running their mouth to them. So you got some, people start talking shit to them. And me, even though I'm everybody knows me, I'm one of those guys that you're not going to run your mouth and think you're going to get away with it. It's not happening.
Well, then again,
you know what I'm saying?
This is where the freedom of speech is out the window. We don't have freedom of speech. Well, I would say,
you have freedom of speech.
Technically, it is on the books.
You do have freedom of speech, but remember, there's consequences to that. Yeah, you got free. We could say whatever we want. Like, look, I can go up. Let me see. Let's try to, who's somebody. Like, I can go up to Dave Bautista. You know who Dave Bautista is, right?
Who that?
The big actor, big MMA fighter, right? I can go up to Dave Bautista. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I think you're a punk. That's freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say that, right?
Yeah. Then you get freedom in the hospital.
Exactly.
But then
there's consequences.
But then again,
there's repercussions.
He's gonna get repercussion from it because you are what do you call it?
What?
You're applying your freedom of speech. That's your right.
Yeah.
Now he went and because he cannot control his temper or his anger, he went and abused you for something that you are legally capable of doing or something that you legally can do.
Yeah. But like I said, there's consequences and repercussions to freedom of speech. That's why you have
the thing is,
that's when risk assessment comes into play, which a lot of people are not doing.
With this ICE situation, as I said, I don't support a lot of stuff what they do, but you're not gonna see me out there. There's many ways to protest against what these guys are doing. Yes, it may not. You just maybe wind up on deaf ears. But come to think of it, it's like you go to war. I'm not sure if this analogy would work. You go to war and you like, you know what? This is crazy. We can't be killing each other like this. And you get up and like, no, this is wrong in the middle of a war. What do you think is going to happen to you?
You're going to die.
Correct. So I know that it is wrong. There's certain things what they do, not everything. There are certain things what they do. And I think, as I said, it's coming from a different level. They're let off the leash because all of this stuff, ICE was there from day one. And you look to all these presidencies from the Republican presidents, from the Democrat presidents, and ICE never behaved like this before until certain people come back in office, which is his grandfather, right? Came back in office and just take them off the leash. However, at the same time, ICE, they're doing their job. Some of them are sometimes they go out of pocket. Meaning they go off track how they handle their certain situation.
Yes. And those particular agents should be held accountable for their actions. They should be disciplined. I believe in that.
Here's the thing from our side, from the public standpoint. We can do our peaceful protests. We can handle peaceful protests and stuff like that.
But you cannot obstruct justice.
Let me more narrow it down specifically. The nurse that got killed, right? Let me start with him. He's the last one. I'm going to go back to that female.
Yeah.
Now, I don't support what it because when I looking at that's murder based on what the evidence pointed out because they took away his gun where it wasn't his there and then while they took away his gun he still was on the floor and then that other agent he's like a road agent to me shot him in the back while the other ICE agent then holding him down. This guy was no threat anymore.
Yeah.
So why you kill the guy right that? No. So I would go against ICE for that. Here's the other thing now, to be fair. Number one, ICE is not behaving to the full coordinates of the law or how they should behave on a principal level.
Yeah.
Why the hell you are going out there with a gun?
Exactly.
Why are you going out there with a gun?
Exactly.
Regardless if you're going out there to have
if you're peacefully protesting, why are you going out there?
Or whatever.
Why are you going out there with a firearm?
You are going out there with a firearm.
You're looking for trouble.
You're looking for trouble.
Exactly.
And number two is that you are stepping. Meanwhile, yes, I am not supporting what ICE do, especially what they were doing with the lady when they were slapping her around. I'm not supporting anything like that what they do because I think these guys really need to get control of or taken down. However, you cannot go and aggravate these guys and antagonize these guys out there. You're going out there, you protest peacefully. You stare from a distance. Yes, you can record. You record from a distance and up. You up in their face. Number two, you have a weapon on you.
You're in their face. And
what do you think these guys gonna
think? And you're calling them racial slurs.
What do you think?
And you're hurling racial slurs.
I think when the ICE agent pushed the young lady at one point, I think he stepped in and tried to push back the ICE agent.
Yeah.
And this is when they just.
And like I said, this wasn't his first altercation. 10 days before he got killed, okay, the pretty guy, whatever his name is, Alex Pretty. 10 days before he got killed, he had broken ribs. Why? Because he got into it again. He got 10 days prior to that. He got into it with a couple of ICE agents to where he kicked out the what do you call it, the tail light on the Tahoe.
I think I heard.
And they
something
got it on video that he kicked out the tail light. And then the ICE agent came out and they started squabbling. So what it is, that guy, you had it coming to you. You had a death wish. You had a death wish, and guess what? You got exactly what you asked for. So I don't feel sorry. Anybody that tells me, oh, no, it's not. You got exactly what you asked for because you went looking for trouble.
I wouldn't support what he got. I mean, because number one, he can't learn his lesson. So it's kind of.
Oh, he learned his lesson.
How? He's dead.
Exactly.
But he can't learn. He can like, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. He can't. He's dead.
He's in purgatory now.
There's no lesson for him to learn. Anyway, I don't support what happened to him. If they had shot him in the foot or beat him upside the head, I would probably see that or stuff like that. But what they did was cold, cruel, and criminal to me. I think that's it. I mean, at the same time, I'm balancing it out because number one, you shouldn't be out there with a gun, regardless if it's licensed and legal. You are instigating stuff. The possibility that you may go out there, you may be innocent too. But ICE agents see you with a gun. Number one, they didn't approach you and ask you for a license or anything or so forth. So they don't know if it's legal or not.
Exactly.
Right? You have some guys who are really bold. They don't care whether if it's legal or not. They're out there with their gun and they will show you to it. That could be a case. But at the same time, you've seen how these agents are operated and not operating in good coordinates. Why are you out there with a gun and also getting in their face? If you were from a distance recording and, minding your business and, try to capture and then they come over and harass you, that's a different story.
That's a different story, but that wasn't the case.
But you in the mix.
And you're antagonizing them.
And antagonizing
while they're working.
Them at the end of the day. Yes, most of what they do is wrong. I see it every day on news and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to put myself in danger. Yeah. I mean, I'm in danger just going there without any gun or anything on me. I'm already in danger because they still, look at that lady, okay, so I'm going to come to her now. So,
Renee Good?
Yes. So she now, at the end of the day, that completely ICE was off record for that. They're murderers and that because that guy particularly, when you look at it and they analyze it, they put it on the internet when they analyze it from the different angles where people capture it. That guy the ICE agent didn't have to kill that woman. Even if he shot her, let's say hypothetically he went to the level of shooting her. He didn't have to shoot her to kill. He could have shoot her in the arm or put the gun inside the car and shoot her up in the leg or shoot her kneecap out or something. Or shoot the tires. Back off and boom, boom, because he was away. When the car was turning, it was turning away from him and he stepped aside and he launched it on the moon while she was pulling out. That's criminal. You should face some type of a criminal crime for that.
But then like I said.
But at the same time, guys, do not go out there and antagonize.
Exactly.
You're going on the street.
They're looking for trouble.
And I stop you.
They're looking for trouble.
You follow all of their rules as possible. You can, at the same time, you have lawyers out there. I don't want ICE to stop me. I don't want them to harass me. But at the same time, they stop me. I'm going to do my best to comply.
Exactly. I'm going to comply.
At the end of the day, I walk with IDs as possible. Now, if they rule that out and say that's not enough and they lock me up, I can't stop that. I will continue fighting and to get myself out there. But at the same time, me fighting what is going to benefit me, probably put my life in jeopardy. We have to apply wisdom, folks. We have to apply wisdom. Yeah. We cannot. I'm not saying that we need to lay dead, right, and let these guys run over us. Just like the cops, you have bad cops, you have good cops. You have good cops, you have bad agents, you have good agents. In every law enforcement, you have good and bad. At the end of the day,
exactly.
It's just unfortunate. But my God, as I said before, just try to apply wisdom. If you want to help and protest, do it in a peaceful manner. If you want to record, Don't get involved with them.
Exactly.
There's many ways to fight them. You have law leaders. They're in Congress. They're doing what they can, and they're pushing out. You're losing your life. You have families you need to take care of. Your kids you need to take care of.
Exactly.
They may look at you as some hero, some may not. I mean, at the end of the day,
Renee Good should have thought about her 3 kids before you decided to get into it with ICE agents. You should have thought about your 3 kids,
you gotta
Renee.
think, guys, comply. I am not sitting here. It get me frustrated at times, even local cops when they pull me over. I sometimes go off at them, but at the same time,
someone could be asses.
I snap back into my situation in reality and say, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not gonna put myself in danger. At the end of the day, I try to my best to comply. They still can lock me up or whatever the case may be. They can frame me or whatever. I don't know, but at the same time, you have many ways. You have ways of how to deal with the situation. People in jail for 40 years, 30 years, and they never committed a crime what they're accused of. I wouldn't like that for anyone. I mean, that's rough. But at the same time, what can you do? You lose your life. I mean, it's so much. I'm just begging you guys, apply wisdom. ICE is not the greatest agency out there. They're doing a lot of stuff. They're doing a lot of, I would say, some of the criminality behaviors and stuff like that. As what Justin said, it may not all of them operating that way.
I don't think they're all operating.
But at the same time, they're in a rampage right now. Just comply. Try to make sure if you're legal in this country and you're fully legalized, walk with different stuff what you can. Your license, if you don't have a license, you try to get some government card that have your identification and your correct information in it. Try to get as much as information as possible to walk with. Now, does that a bulletproof that they can't pick you up?
No, it doesn't. But it has. But
it gives you some leverage.
It gives you a chance to go home alive.
Precisely.
On top of that, if you come, let's see, one thing I learned, because I used to mouth off the cops all the time. And then I want to say by the time I hit like 21, 22, I learned to comply and I learned to show them respect. And what I would mean by showing them respect, say if I got pulled over by a cop or whatever. What's the highest rank in police? Chief, right?
The chief.
All right. So how I would psychologically disarm a cop that pulled me over. The minute he pulled me over, called in my car, hey, what's up, chief? How you doing? He doesn't even realize that I psychologically disarmed him because I'm already showing him that respect because even though he's not a chief, I'm calling him chief, which is the highest form in his industry that he's in.
Or a captain or a sergeant.
So right there, his subconscious is telling him, even if he doesn't even realize it, his subconscious is responding to me calling him chief and be like, okay, this guy's showing you respect. Hear him out. Or you don't have to be that way. And ever since I did that, I've never had an issue with law enforcement. And I've had quite a few brush-ins with the law. I don't have an issue with them. I'm talking about even to where times to where they had to lock me up, put me in holding, and I was so cool with the cops that they would bring me something to eat from outside. And it's not like I'm a snitch. I'm nothing like that. I don't rat. I don't share information with law enforcement. But what it is, I know how to speak to people. I understand.
You know how to comply and work with
of a job there is. I remember one time I got pulled over. Where was it? It was in Mount Vernon over there. No, right where Cross County, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I was inebriated, and they brought me in, and I told the police officer, she's like, because they kind of felt bad for me because I was being real cool about it, but I was guilty. And I said, look, I've been this is when I had a job. I was a bill collector for about 15 years before I got a job in the post office. I said, look, I'm a debt collector by trade. I know what it feels like for people to automatically be hostile to you before they even get to know you. And when I told that police officer that, I was in a holding cell. She went to Wendy's and went and got me food because I was hungry. And she went and got me food at Wendy's. They had me in the holding cell. I still had to go to, but like they didn't. I was chilling. Like the holding cell was open. Like I wasn't even. It was open. I could go use the bathroom, do whatever. And then
that's respect. They show, exactly.
And just because she told me, she's like, no, she's like, you never really. She's like, we never really. I said, nah. I said, I'm not. I said, I've been, I remember, being 18, 19 years old. I think that might have been the last time I got locked up, like vicious, because, for mouthing off the cops, when I was in high school, I was mouthing off the cops, being disrespectful, things like that. And when I learned how to speak to law enforcement and actually looked at them for who they are as opposed to just what the badge is, they recognize that. Don't think that, even the meanest, hardest, the dick of a cop, if you're being cool with him and showing him respect, he has no choice but to be cool with you. unless he's a complete heartless, sadistic prick or something like that.
Which
But that's
occasionally
not-
you'll find out there.
Yeah. But what it is, you're not going to come across that. So what it is, I had to learn, for one, to put my ego in check, because this is this is a position of authority. This is a representative of authority when you're dealing with law enforcement. They are a representative of authority.
They're not the law. They're not the law of someone.
Yeah, but they are a representative of authority. Okay, so when you learn that and you learn how to speak with them, you're not going to have as many problems. Look, I'm 46 years old. I haven't had any problems with police in God knows how long. In God knows how. And then even now, look, I'm Hispanic. I'm half Venezuelan. I'm half Puerto Rican. I'm from here. But if ICE was to stop me, oh, how you doing, agent? For one, I'm not going to call them officer because they're not their agents. Right there, oh, how you doing, agent? That right there showing them a sign of respect. Okay, this guy recognizes what I do. He recognizes because you got to remember, with federal agents, they're not officers, they're agents. So like the ICE, those are ICE agents. They're not ICE officers, they're ICE agents. So that over, oh, how you doing, agent? What do you need? Okay, well, look, I have a license, but it's expired. Look, I have a license, but it's expired. But whatever you need. You need my social? I'll give you my social. I was born in Albert Einstein Medical Center, January 6, 1980. I got no problem divulging this information. Because once they run it, oh, he's from here. Once you start talking, okay, he's American. There's certain things that I do that you could tell, like, okay, he's Americanized. Like, he's not, I don't think he's from somewhere else. I think he's from here. Even if it is. So it's not, you with something like that, like you were saying, you have to comply. You understand? Yeah. Has there been times to where, I might have an officer talking to me in a certain manner? Yeah, I have. And, I say, calm down, Justin. Don't go off on this guy because he's looking for a reason. Because you got to remember, there's cops. Just like there's wicked people, there's wicked law enforcement. Not all of them are wicked, but some of them are wicked, some of them are miserable, and they want to push your buttons because they're in a bad mood. Maybe their wife is cheating on them, or something like that. So you have to learn to play mental chess with them. And if you're in your feelings, you're not going to be able to do that because you don't have a level head. You're not calm. And that's just what it is. Now, people tell me, oh, but just you're not like that. Well, no, I'm not like that. Whatever. Like me, I have, if people that really know me, I have no patience, no respect, no empathy for stupidity. If you are a stupid person, that means that if you lack knowledge in something and you're trying to talk to me about something that you lack knowledge in, I'm going to disrespect you to the 10th power. I'm not going to teach you anything because you're already showing me the kind of person that you are. That is the only time that I'm very ignorant and because I'm not going to be bothered because we're grown, we're adults. Your parents should have taught you how to talk to people. Or you should know risk assessment because the way I was raised, when you talk to people a certain way, either you better know how to fight or you better be ready to get, you better be ready to get put in the hospital.
Or run or something.
Yeah, or run or something. Or keep a gun on you, a knife or something. But then that's going to cause more problems down the line for you. So this is what I'm saying. It's about dealing with people. Okay? Those ICE agents are people. You act like, they have a job to do. It's not like, they're saying they're not, but they don't have to do that job. They're starting at $150,000 a year with a $50,000 bonus.
Somebody
These guys
has
are paying
to do the
$200,000 a year.
Just like a garbage truck, man. Somebody, you may not.
Somebody got to do it.
Somebody gonna do it. Any job you figure out, and whatever you that may be not your taste bud, but someone has to do it.
They said
regardless of what.
It's like a good 60% of the ICE agents. 60% of the ICE agents are black and Latino.
I don't know the statistic of that, but I mean, based on what Justin is saying, there you go.
It's like a good 60%.
People, at the end of the day, protect yourself. You have, especially if you have a family. Yeah. I'm not saying don't stand up for right. Yeah. I do it at times. At times, my head will get a little chip at times, especially when cops, one time, a perfect example about maybe last year, December, or maybe it's this year. I don't know. And I pull up on a spot on White Plains. I think I was going somewhere, and I pull up and I park there.
Police is the worst, bro.
And those rookies, man.
Those guys are Gestapos.
So I'm there. I just pull up there, and now I'm getting out the car to go to. I think it was my phone bill I was gonna pay to T-Mobile, and
where on Mamaroneck Road?
No, this was on White Plains Road.
Oh, White Plains Road in White Plains.
Not in White Plains, Westchester.
Oh, you mean White Plains right here?
White Plains
oh, so
right
you're
here,
dealing with NYPD?
Yeah, so
okay, I thought you were talking about White Plains, like White Plains,
but
White
they
Plains.
I encounter with them too, so that's another
Yeah,
story.
that's I call White Plains plain white, bro. Those cops be on some.
Oh, they on a different page.
Bro, they really are. They're on a different.
You want to walk straight when you're
Yeah, them dudes are different, and I don't. You got it, bro. You got it.
Don't even blink too fast.
Yeah, I want to say them, New Rochelle PD. There's a couple of PDs in Westchester County. You know what? No problem, officer. I don't want any issues. You know what I'm saying? Westchester County cops are like that too.
The story is that, I'm standing there and I'm getting out of the car, and then these two young rookies that just bum rushed me, just came over like, what are you doing? And I think I kind of at fault because what I did is that I was making a turn, but for me to avoid creating traffic or creating an accident, so I had to like pull up on the sidewalk. Okay. And then reverse to a certain extent, and then pull back out, and then position myself properly. But I utilize the sidewalk as a route or as a piece of tool to structure myself.
Oh, so they got you for driving on the sidewalk.
So they came over to like, what's going on with you, dude? What you're driving on the sidewalk and stuff. But there was no one on the sidewalk, and the part where I went on, there was like a rail in there, so I couldn't pass it.
Yeah.
It was in front of the supermarket, so there's like a railing where you couldn't pass it. So even if
so they don't
you
steal
can't
the carts,
hurt anyone, right?
Yeah.
But they still came over. I was annoyed with that at one point when I asked them to come in. I was like, oh. So they started talking just before they even reached to my window, and I just ignoring them. And there's one man says, "Dude, cut your stupidness out. Relax." They're doing their job because technically I'm not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
Exactly.
So they're doing their job. And I recalibrate myself and I humble myself there at the moment. And I said, yes, officer, I know it. I didn't want to create an accident by backing out, cannot see blindly, and then somebody run into me and yada, yada, and just create a mess. So I did this cautionally and so on and so on. And he's like, oh, okay, you have a license and registration. I humbly take it out, show it to him. He also see my PBA card that I got from my cousin, like it's like a getaway badge, not for crimes. Yeah. It's not everything you can get that badge.
They show you a courtesy.
So like, they just give you
have family on a job, they'll extend that courtesy to you.
So, I mean, if you rob a bank or do something,
please don't do that.
That's not going to help
you. Yeah, if you get busted in a drug raid, no. But like, for a random, getting pulled over or something like that, and I'm not gonna lie, NYPD is good for that. Like, they'll extend
respect,
to you.
They respect
like,
because they give
somebody on a job. Yeah, I do. Okay, cool.
Because they give their family members to
exactly.
And, they expect.
I got a PBA card in my pocket right now.
They expect
police.
They expect the other cops to give courtesy when they give them
exactly.
Up. So one hand washes the other. But
mind you, this is for like when you get pulled over, not if you get if you're chilling in somebody's house and that house happens to get raided by drug task force, and then you give out your cousin's car, dude. What are you doing? Now they're gonna invest. Now IA is gonna be on his ass and investigate him.
Why your cousin over there in the drug bus?
Exactly. Yo, we pulled over into your cousin. Yo, dude, he gave us your card. What's all this about? Yeah, no, we're not trying to open up a can of worms for your family.
But people, just apply wisdom and just think out the box.
That's a good
not
saying.
Even
apply
just say
wisdom.
think out the box. Just think. Think out the box. You don't allow your emotion to collide with your intellect. I'm guilty of that at times.
Yeah.
I'm trying to more structure myself myself more in a humble manner, that when these agents or when these officers, now keep in mind, a lot of them I hear are, would I say a lot, or a few of them sometimes come, and when you're having a little dispute, they're like, I am the law. They are not the law. They're enforcing
the law.
They are not the law. And these officers need to get that vocabulary or that statement out their mouth. They're not the law. However, still respect them.
Exactly.
Because they have the little upper hand against you. Now, when they take your life and you gone and dead, what you going to do? You can't do anything. Then you have a family, especially if you're involved with your family. You have a family member here now. They under stress, which something possibly could be avoided.
Exactly.
Listen, at the end of the day, I like life. At the end of the day, I like to continue living as long as possible. Yes, sometimes when I was younger, even at this age, sometimes once in a blue moon, I'll do dumb stuff. But at the same time, I try to structure that I try to avoid dumb stuff, period. At the end of the day, especially when it comes to law enforcement, be humble. Yes, you still can get in trouble. Yes, being humble, being kind, you still can wind up. But at the same time, you're doing your best.
But you took the high road. You didn't take the low road.
Correct.
Honestly, well, I like what he said. Me, I don't like life, but I would not put. I don't like life. I really don't. But like I tell people, I refuse to put that pain in my parents' heart. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to put that pain in my mother, my father, and my sister's heart. I refuse to put that pain. Me, I really don't care about living or dying. I'm really on some kamikaze. But what it is, that's the only thing that keeps me, because I don't want to put no pain in my mother's heart. I don't want to put no pain in my father's heart. And I definitely don't want to put no pain in my sister or my niece's heart. You understand? But other than that, it's straight kamikaze style. But even sometimes I got to chill, because there could be times that I can really go over the edge. And people that know me know how I get. Like, I really get over the edge, but even me, I have to pull back. I believe in law and order. I'm probably the most criminal person you'll ever meet in your life, but I do believe in law and order.
We don't subscribe to criminalities
yes,
here.
Yes, he does.
We don't. We will talk about it.
He subscribes to all my nonsense and my criminality. Matter of fact, he is my #1 computer hacker when I hack into all the national banks and Con Ed and thing like that. And no, we're not stricken it from the record.
We're stricken that from the record because that's bull.
But I do believe in law and order. Do you know why I believe in law and order? Because catch me if you can. That's why.
You know, he watching too much movies. You see that? they just released I think that's the third one. a third sequel, Catch Me If You Can. Folks,
come on, bro, there can't be good guys if there's no bad guys.
It's like that cartoon, the bad guys too.
I love being a bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy.
Stay away. You see why Mrs. Tox do what she do? She did a good job.
Tox left me.
Tox left him. Mrs. Tox left his behind.
And I still don't care. Actually, I got a new motto: no chicks all 2026. I want to see how much money I can save up.
Good luck with
that. And then
that.
at the end of the year, I'm gonna buy a car.
And then you're gonna buy a car. See?
That's my goal. No women. All the money, because I'm not gonna lie, I spend a lot of money on women. I'm not even gonna lie. So no women. I'm gonna save up all the money that I would spend on women, and I'm gonna buy a car.
All ladies, if you want a pimp daddy, if you want a sugar, actually correct
Leave
word.
me
if you want
alone.
If you want a sugar daddy, but remember the toxicity that comes with it.
Exactly. You don't want to hop on this ride. Okay, you do not want to. I will put you.
This train is going 110 miles per hour.
You will end up in a straitjacket with half of your head shaved. You don't want to come on this ride.
Stay away from this train. Stay away from this train. This train doesn't have a train station to stop at.
Exactly.
This is just going around the clock.
Exactly. It's a straight bullet train.
Anyway, folks, it's about that time. It's a lot we have to. Yeah, it's a lot we have to talk about. But
oh my God,
we are doing them in segments. I mean, it's like an hour past.
I swear,
like,
Mike, I could talk for hours, bro.
I
like
thought
we've only
this
been
was
up here for like 20 minutes, bro.
25, half an hour, and this is like.
This is nothing, man. It's like a teaser.
Hour and gone. So we have a lot to talk about.
Look, intelligent investors didn't even come.
He's still looking for parking.
He's still looking for parking. Why is it come back on there? Dude, we're done already.
That's how crazy it is.
He's like, oh, I found parking. I said, we're done.
By the time you find parking, I come in, he's like, yo, Mike, what you doing? I'm wrapping up. We're done. It's like an hour and change gone already. And you like the one that says to keep it down to the hour thing, because a lot of people, I agree, people who get, after a certain time period, people's, attention span just...
Yeah, they do.
Just gone.
Oh, for the ladies out there, I know you're probably wondering where Prime Minister Khalees is at. Unfortunately, he has been apprehended by ICE. They sent him back to Belize. So we won't be seeing Prime Minister Khalees. So now I am the new eye candy of the show. So if you want to send me love letters, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, we're shaking that from America. That's false.
No, I'm just playing. Prime Minister Khalees is busy. He's doing something.
He just got caught up with the work.
Wait till he watches this. What do you mean?
What do you mean? He's like, yo, take that down. Shaking that from the record. Take it down. Prime Minister Khalees is gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
Well, folks, again, it's that time. We thank you for stopping by here, Mike and Mike, Garage headquarters, and we thank you for your support. Again, keep on, applying wisdom. At the end of the day, this is serious time we are living in, and do your best to comply, even if you don't involved or don't you have a family, but you still have a family technically because you have your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, whoever else. You don't necessarily have to have immediate family in the contents of wife, husband, children, and so forth. But you still have immediate family out there, brother, sister, aunt, nephew, cousin, so on and so on. And they will miss you once you're gone.
Yeah.
You would hurt them, creating pain for them as well. So
Yeah.
try your best. You cannot prevent anything, but do your best not to create unnecessary issues towards yourself.
Exactly.
And I'm preaching to myself.
Like
well.
Mike perfectly said, apply wisdom.
Yeah.
And if
yeah.
you don't have any wisdom, then I advise you to acquire some very quickly.
Really quick. Final thought?
My final thought, New York, I told you so. But then also to my New Yorkers, to my real New Yorkers, okay? We are the most resilient people on this planet, okay? So start acting like it, okay? Stop falling for the nonsense, okay? Apply critical thinking. Apply wisdom, like Mike says. Like we were also talking about in regards to these protests. It is perfectly fine to protest, okay? But there's a thin line between protesting and obstructing. Protest. Do not obstruct, okay? They have a job to do. You may not agree with what their job that they're doing, but you not agreeing with them does not stop the fact that they still have a job to do, okay? And unfortunately, like I said, I don't agree with a lot of the methods that ICE is doing, but unfortunately, desperate times call for desperate measures, okay? And we definitely are in desperate times, and these are desperate measures that are being applied, okay? Keep in mind, 20 million illegals came in through our country in the last 4 years, okay? That is not mass migration. That is an invasion. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. Okay, and then like I said, you know, just spread love, keep your head on a swivel, and stay away from liberals.
Well, my thoughts is this: as what Justin said, you know, apply wisdom, just stay in coordinates with the law as possible. We all here are immigrants, every single last one of us. The only true American here is the Native Americans, that they are the real Americans here. So we, all of us, when I always sometimes see it on...
Remember, we're legal immigrants, okay?
See it on...
There's a difference between legal and illegal.
Yeah.
We are legal immigrants.
We see it on times on in social media where you have these guys, white guys, and others are like telling, mostly I seen it towards black, like, go back to your country or go back to your island or so forth. But you need to go back to yourself because you don't belong here as well. And not because you were born here, you still technically don't belong.
You don't belong here, you're European.
You have others who also were born here, blacks also were born here. And I see people tell them to go back where they're coming from. Yeah. So it applies to the only one have the right to tell us that is the Native Americans.
And to be honest with you, there's a lot of black people that are native to this land, that they didn't come from Africa, they are from here. This is their land. They are not from Africa. They are not from the islands. They are from here. That back in the days that they were called, if you were from Virginia, you were not called black, you were called the Virginian. If you were from Maryland, you were not called black, you were called the Marylander. Okay? If you were a New Yorker, okay? These are black people. Black people that, well, Moorish, I should say. I mean, if they are from here. They've been here for generations.
But they still came from Africa.
Oh, they're from here. That's been proven. Remember, the whole transatlantic... The transatlantic slave was very real, but it wasn't as big as what history told us. Okay. Because a lot of people were already here. This goes back into my Moorish teaching, the teachings of the Moors, things like that. Remember, this is their land. So a lot of people, they are indigenous to here. That's why you meet, like, from that, especially like if you talk to people from down south, their family's not from Africa. Their family's from here. Like, I'm talking about they've been here. They've been here.
Well, the first black, would say quote unquote American, it was 18, and I think there was Virginia.
The word black wasn't even used to identify a person until like the 1700s. Before that, they were called Moors, or they were called where the land that they were from. They were Marylanders, they were Virginians, they were New Yorkers, they were Canetians, which is Connecticut. You know, it's different. So they were basically nationals, or like you said, like those tribes. Native American is actually a colonialized term. So they're not necessarily, that's a term that was made by the colonizer, Native American. But they're just Americans. An American, if you look up in any dictionary what an American is, they're going to tell you it's a darker complected person. So these people that are here, they're all American, fourth generation American. No, you're not. You're European. You're European. Your family's from Ireland. Your family's from Scotland. Your family's from Germany. Your family's from
Europe,
Poland. Okay, your nationality isn't here. Yeah, you were born here, so you're a citizen. but your nationality is not here. You belong to a nation. So if you're Polish, you're from Poland. Your family, your bloodline goes back to Poland.
Right.
Your bloodline goes back to Albania. Your bloodline goes back to Italy. You're Europeans, okay? You're citizens here, but this is not your land. You are not a national. And
yeah, folks.
Yeah.
We could have the teacher here go down the drain,
Exactly.
but at the same time,
like Mike is an American citizen, but Mike is a Jamaican national.
right. I
Because
wasn't
his-
born here, but
Yeah, but he's a Jamaican national.
I'm an immigrant as well.
A legal immigrant at that.
I'm an alien, as what they also say it as
No,
well.
you're not an alien.
That's
Because
what they call anyone that is not from here, like
Yeah.
meaning that you're
No,
not born
remember,
here.
you're an alien. You're an alien before you get your legal status. Now you're considered a naturalized citizen because you're from. And then how many years did it take you to get to become a citizen here in the United States? Because you moved here as a little kid, right?
Yeah. So when I was when I went and actually do it on my own. I think when I reached at 16 or 17.
That's when
18.
you received your citizenship.
Yeah, that's when I went for it
as a
on my own.
naturalized citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what people don't understand is that he's a naturalized citizen. He actually has, if you go down the status, he actually has a higher status than a United States citizen. Because the way it works is that you have an alien, which is the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
You have a citizen, which is a U.S. citizen, a naturalized citizen, and then a national. A national is the highest status in the land. Remember, these are statuses. This is a caste system. He is actually of a higher, naturalized citizens are actually of a higher status than a U.S. citizen because a naturalized citizen had to learn the history of the United States before they became naturalized citizens. A lot of U.S. citizens do not know their history. So that in turn, you guys actually have, because my mother's a naturalized citizen. My mother came here when she was 6 years old from my mother, because I asked my mom. My mother came here when she was 6 years old from Venezuela. Okay, my uncle lived here already. He adopted her. Okay, he's also Venezuelan, but had lived here. You know, he settled here. He had to call the Department of State. The Department of State would call my uncle every year to check the whereabouts of my mom. To where my mom went to go visit after my mother graduated from college in 1975. She was 22. Now, mind you, this is 16 years later. She found out when she was leaving Venezuela to come back here from vacation, her visa expired. My mom had to go through the process. You know, they still allowed her to come back to the States because she had a sponsor, but she had to go through the process. She had to take, you know, the test to become, and she became a naturalized citizen. But my mom did, you know, my mom went through the process. She didn't try to cut.
I think
she didn't
mine.
try to hide from immigration, nothing like that.
I think it's probably maybe.
Because remember,
before
ICE before it was ICE, Department of State used to handle all that. So I think when you were here, remember, there wasn't ICE when you first came here. ICE wasn't made until like 2000, 2001.
I wouldn't remember that.
It was
but
Department of State.
I know because when I started going for it, I think that was maybe was because let me see 89
or immigration. They
so,
called the immigration department.
Yeah, so I was thinking probably about 18, probably about 19. I think I started winning because I was working also. I was working for a company, and I was making decent money to be in high school still, you know.
Yeah.
And so I went and pay. I think at the time I pay a lawyer like $2,000.
Yeah, immigration.
For him to do my stuff, and I keep on going to school, do my thing, and he's, you know, at one point it was a story. I don't know if I want to get into it, but it was a story when I was going for my naturalized citizenship, and I went to go get swear in, and the officer was asking me some questions. It's like, have you been arrested before? I was like, nope, no, I've never been arrested before. Yeah. They're like, are you sure you have never been arrested before? Or
yeah,
anything?
they're big on that.
I'm like, no, not to my knowledge.
Yes.
So the lady just flipped the script and she said, well, I have a record here for that you had a federal offense. I'm like, what the what?
A federal offense for
federal
what?
Some federal crime there, which was a federal. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, I should be in jail if I had committed a federal crime. And then I'm sitting here in front of immigration. They should lock me up.
Now, would they substantiate that? Did they show you paperwork?
Yeah, but I'm getting to the story. So I'm like, so when we leave, because they postponed at the time for me to get some documents now to bring back to them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm sitting here, they know all of this anyway. So anyway, after I left, my lawyer was furious. He's like, I told you to tell me the truth and all of that stuff. And I'm like, I'm not guilty. I'm like, I never been to jail. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So after I went back and he actually they told me to go down to One Police Plaza or
To 1PP, yeah.
or somewhere down there to
Yeah.
to go pull this record.
Yeah.
So I went down there and I pulled this record. They only give me a paperwork that said they can't get into the record. It's sealed.
Yeah.
However, when I pull everything together and see what they had on my record, which was sealed and put away because I had at the time I think I was a teenager when
So he was a minor.
I hopped the train station going to school, and the cops them caught me. And put me in this way. I think it was when I was going home, and they caught me and put me in a cell in the.
Why would they deem that a federal offense, though?
They call hopping the train style is robbery.
Yeah, but the deem it as federal. That's not a federal offense.
That's what she have on the record. That was
wow. That's what it was.
But it was sealed, so she couldn't see exactly what it is.
So what did your lawyer say when he found that out?
When I showed him, he started apologizing and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and whatever. But I said, I mean, it threw me off too because I'm like, that means somebody's using my name or doing something or whatever the case may be. So when I went down to the system and they gave me the paperwork, they said, well, this is which for, but we cannot give you any more details on it because it's sealed and we can't get into it, but this is what it's for. So bring back this paperwork to them and so forth. So I went and I gave it to her. I think it was the same person. They just took a matter of fact, I don't remember if they take the paper. They probably did. They just take the paper and just put it aside. They didn't even look to it. But they know what it is. I think what threw them off is that they think I was lying.
Exactly, and you weren't.
But I didn't know that they have this as, and I wasn't arrested in the sense that I went to the precinct.
That's just fair evasion. That's fair evasion.
They didn't do that. They just had me in the train station, some room, had me there for a few hours.
That's fair evasion. That's a simple citation.
I think they called my mom. I don't know if they got my mom at the time, but eventually they let me go. And they told me, they gave me some time where I have to go back to a court, which I went, and they said, all right, you know what, just go clean up the parks for whatever the case.
Community service, yeah.
Yeah, and when you do that, we clean this up. We get erased it. And this is what they did. But I was completely like, I was crazy. I was going through mine. I'm like, what type of federal offense?
Yeah.
I did. And then the funniest thing, I'm looking at it because I have some type of knowledge now.
Well, maybe they considered it federal because at the time you weren't a citizen yet. I think you were still on a visa.
I think I was under my green card.
Yeah, so that's probably why they're considering it federal, because you're on a green card. So automatically, since you're on a green card, and if you commit a crime in the United States, it's automatically a federal offense.
That makes sense because I was going for my citizenship at the time.
Yeah, so. but that's like, that's nonsense. Like even that, like I'm like, come on, really?
This is crazy.
Hop in the train, everybody hop in the train.
They had my heart in my mouth at the time. It was like, anyway, folks, story time is over.
Yes.
But
that was a good story. I like that.
Yeah, thank you for so in essence with that, just try your best to stay compliant. Again, it's not everything. There's many ways to fight it. You have lawyers who can deal with the situation, and it's not something of where you're drinking hot chocolate with sweetening and stuff like that. Some of these things are going to be bitter, but at the same time, you try your best to comply and do everything what you can do to stay in coordinates with the law, and at the end of the day, do your best to avoid these situations. Well, thank you for stopping by. We kind of went a little bit over extended time, but
we did.
We enjoy ourselves. I hope you enjoyed this episode as well. It's a couple of while. We was away for like 3 weeks, but
yes,
we should be back on track. Hopefully, moving forward, and we hope to see you next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.